Hey guys, happy Monday. I think you guys are probably all excited that it's only a 2-day school week this week, and then you get to be at home, celebrate Thanksgiving with your families. So, today we're going to go through a lesson on how to use ellipses and dashes. So, an ellipses is plural for ellipsis, and obviously dashes is plural for dash. But an ellipsis is pretty much your dot, dot, dot in a sentence. Okay, your three periods next to each other. Then you have your dash, and your dash is just like that little straight line in the middle of words and to kind of show pause in a sentence. So I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint here. So this PowerPoint is titled Dashes and Ellipses because that's what we're going over today. It's not that long of a PowerPoint, but it gives you a general understanding of these two concepts. So slide number 1 explains how to use a dash. So to use a dash or dashes, you use it as a super comma or a set of super commas in place of parentheses to set off added information. So an example that was poorly written is all 4 of them, Bob, Jeffrey, Jason, and Brett, did well in college. There are a lot of commas in that sentence, which makes it very confusing as the writer and the reader. So what you could do is you could insert dashes in this sentence to make it easier to understand, easier to read. So down here it says use dashes, and it gives you the correct example. It says all 4 of them, big dash, Bob, Jeffrey, Jason, and Brett, another dash, did well in college. It's much easier to read, and it still gives you the pauses that you needed, even as though you were using the commas from the first sentence. The next one talks about how to use dashes in dialogue. So it shows breaks in thoughts and shifts in tone when you're using it in dialogue. So it actually gives you, excuse me, it gives you 2 examples, but it's kind of in a dialogue of 2 people speaking to each other. So it says, how many times have I asked you not to? And then that's your pause, which is your dash, because it kind of leads off, okay? Leads off. And this shows that it says Jason suddenly stopped talking and looked out the window. Okay, so it just means it was an abrupt stop. Other person responds, not to do what? I prompted. Not to, pause again. Oh, heck, I forget. Okay, so that's how you use the dash. Hang on, Rylan. Then if you're only using one dash, it's pretty similar to how you use it in dialogue. It still shows a pause in what's being stated. So a single dash can emphasize material at the beginning or end of a sentence. For example, after 80 years of dreaming, the elderly man realized it was time to finally revisit the land of his youth, Ireland. Okay, so it puts emphasis on Ireland. The second example, The Office, a harmless television program or dangerously subversive guide to delinquency in the workplace. So your emphasis is on the office because it's what's before the dashes, and it's set apart from the rest of the sentence or the question. To indicate sentence introductions or conclusions, you can also use a dash. This helps readers see that certain words are meant as an intro or a conclusion to your sentence. So for example, books, paper, pencils. Many students lacked even the simplest tools for learning in the 19th century America. Okay, notice that this dash is to split up 19th century. That is a small dash, so that's not the same dash we're talking about right now. We're talking about this one, the super dash, a super comma, like they call it. Okay, right here. So it sets off books, paper, and pencils. The second part says, to improve their health, Americans should critically examine the food that they eat. Fast food, fatty fried foods, junk food, and sugary snacks. Okay, so that's putting emphasis on the types of food that the sentence is talking about. So dashes oftentimes can be used similar to how commas are, but they make it a little easier to read and understand. Now we get into the ellipsis. So the ellipsis, plural is ellipses, like we've already discussed, is punctuation mark, that is your dot, 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 your 3 periods put together. You will use this when getting rid of words, so omitting words, phrases, lines, paragraphs, and information from a quoted passage. The ellipses save space or remove material that is less relevant. So a full quotation is, today, after hours of careful thought, we vetoed the bill. However, you don't really need the portion that says after hours of careful thought right here. So what you could do is you could insert an ellipsis. So it could say today ... we voted the bill. Okay, or we vetoed the bill. Sorry about that. And then the last part, the way that you can use an ellipsis is for dramatic effect. Ellipses are similar to commas as well in the fact that they can show hesitation and dashes because they also show change of mood, suspense, or thoughts. Writers also use ellipses to indicate pause or wavering in an otherwise straightforward sentence. So here are your examples. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, it's still all one sentence, but that pause puts a little more emphasis on what's being said. Pride is one thing, but what happens if she ... Okay, and then the last part says, he said, okay, hang on, Rylan. He said, I ... really don't ... understand this. So it should sound like I really don't understand this. So it puts emphasis on hesitation on certain things in your sentences to make them portray the mood you're trying to get across. Once you finish going through this PowerPoint, if you go back to Plan Book, the next thing for you, it says, look in either your AR book or your class novel, since you should still have Touching Spirit Bear, and find 2 instances where dashes and 2 instances where ellipses are used. All you have to do then is take those direct quotes and message them to me on chat. So you should have 4 total, 2 of each. And then once that's done, there's a worksheet on Teams for you to also complete. So have a good day, guys. There won't be a video tomorrow since you are working on your Touching Spirit Bear projects. So I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holidays and make sure to kind of remember what this holiday is all about. You know, what are you thankful for? I know this year has been a tough one, but I think each of us have certain things that we really are still thankful for. So happy Thanksgiving, guys. See you soon.